I wasn't even talking about whether he would smarten up about it. I'm simply saying he flung Curtis Blades around. Like,
You're right, he did.
Like he may try to throw Tom Aspinall around a couple times.
He was big brother of it.
Tom will be on bottom for longer than a second. The amount of time that two fighters in the UFC have spent on the bottom in the accumulation of their fights. You got Tom Aspinall. He has spent an
incredible amount of time on his back.
1 second on his back, or on,
or on someone on top of him.
Yeah, someone on top of him. 1 second out of all of his fights in the UFC.
And then that's a fall down with a guy grabbing on top and he's standing right back up. It's like there was nothing. 1 second, come on.
So we're not giving Volkov the credit?
I'm not giving Volkov any credit for that. I'm sorry. But it does speak to the dominance of Tom Aspinall in the heavyweight division. It does speak to the dominance of Chimaev in both the welterweight, now middleweight, and the fact that these are guys that don't even think about being on the bottom of a fight. And you always have to, at a certain point, think about, hey, I could end up down there. I can slip. A guy can jump on top of me. How am I going to get myself out? And I'm sure that, they've gone over all of those things in training, but they've never had to implement it in the actual competition of a fight, which says so much about their skill levels. It really does. I mean, Josh, you could wrestle. You were on the bottom many times. It happens. Sometimes you get hit with a shot and everything. That hasn't happened to these guys. And you can take a look at all these great fighters. Randy Couture, he's been on the bottom. He's a great wrestler, been on the bottom. Josh Barnett, been on the bottom. These are guys that you look at and you go, these most of the time, they're in the top position, but 6 seconds and even 1 second, come on, that's crazy.
I give Chimaev a little bit more credit because there tends to be a little bit better wrestlers in that 185-pound division and 170-pound division.
True.
Whereas Tom Aspinall, like in the heavyweight division, you have Curtis Blades.
Yeah, but look, and he has a loss against Curtis based upon the injury to his knee, but he has faced Curtis twice. He's got one win, the one loss due to injury, and Curtis in no way was able to put him on his back or be in the top position.
The fight that kind of makes me feel like he's going to end up, losing a lot of those seconds is against Jailton Almeida. Because the way Jailton Almeida threw Curtis Blades around.
Yeah, but okay, you look at that, and I agree with you. He did. There's no doubt. But he burned out because of it. So did he learn from that?
John,
did he learn I can't just muscle people around? Or is he going to go right back to what he did against Curtis Blades?
John, I wasn't even talking about whether he would smarten up about it. I'm simply saying he flung Curtis Blades around. Like,
you're right, he did.
Like he may try to throw Tom Aspinall around a couple times.
He was big brother in him.
Tom will be on bottom for longer than a second. At some point in that fight, I think Tom will be on bottom for longer than a second. I'm not saying Tom's going to lose because I'm a Tom nut rider, man. I think that he's gonna be champion for a long time. Yeah. But I look at Chimaev. The fact that someone was able to even get to top position on him, and it was Gilbert Burns, probably the smallest of the guys that he's fought, throughout Kevin Hall and all those guys. What Li Lajing, they call him
Jiling Zhang.
Yeah, Jiling Zhang. Like him, I mean, like he was someone that got flung around by Chimaev. He's not a big guy, but I still think he's bigger than Dorino. Yeah. So overall, both guys, fantastic. That's insane, though, to think you have that many fights. If you only spent 1 second and 6 seconds on the bottom in any of those fights, that's pretty awesome. So
super.
You got to give these guys their credit. Give them their due.